All right, well, we're back to discuss Creed, and if you saw our review, we were mixed on the movie. Yeah, I had several problems with the movie overall. Honestly, I think it was a better movie than Southpaw overall.
I never saw that one.
Which Southpaw had a lot. I think Southpaw I had a lot more expectations for than this movie. I didn't expect this to be very good, and it was all right. Michael B. Jordan was fine. I knew right from the get-go that I wasn't going to like the fighting because of the way it was shot. They shot everything too close. You couldn't tell what was going on most of the time until you get to that final fight. And then the final fight, if you know anything about boxing, and I know very little about boxing, but if you know anything about boxing, it does not go like that. It does not work like that. You don't...
Yeah, any one of those hits would be a fight ender.
Any one of those, like 35, 60 hits.
And you don't land on the canvas like that to be inspired and then get up as your body is shut down.
Yeah, you don't wake up from a knockout and still get the 10 count out.
They would have called that fight in a few different situations.
But beyond that, like, you don't hit a guy in the head 3 times in a row in a professional boxing match and it not end in a knockout.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't happen. Like, the knockout in most boxing matches, like, looks like you just kind of tap the guy on the head, but it's because you built up over 8 rounds that he just goes straight down.
Shocked at some of the brutal fights that go on.
No way. No, that fight is completely preposterous in this movie. No way. They trade that many headshots.
No way it goes to full fight.
I thought it was going to be more about love that he got up, and then kind of finding out that he didn't want to be a mistake kind of thing kind of got to me like...
Yeah. I mean, the emotions there, the reasons are there. I'm just talking, like, from a technical standpoint.
Well, getting up after that, like, thing kind of like, hey, I don't want to be a mistake, so I'm going to get up kind of thing kind of is just like...
That's what that's what he says at the end of the fight. And in the movie, like, in the context of the movie, he's supposed to be out, like, literally knocked out, and he just, like, springs back up from being knocked out.
As you do.
After, whatever, 4 seconds, so that he doesn't get the 10 count.
That's part of the formula of that, though, isn't it? It's almost like you could graph it and it would just follow it exactly.
It is. I mean, I do like that he lost...
That was basically the Rocky 5 ending, wasn't it?
That was...
Rocky 6 ending?
Rocky 6.
That was a good thing to do. Like, for the two to end up respecting each other, but for him to have lost the actual...
Mm-hmm. Much like
fight.
Rocky 1 on the other side of the coin.
And I don't... It's been a long time since I watched the Rocky movies, but did they oversell how close Rocky and Apollo Creed really were?
No, they were incredibly close.
Not in the first film, but like maybe by the third one.
They were rivals. In the second one, they respected each other. In the third one,
Creed trained Rocky.
Creed trains Rocky, and in the fourth one, Rocky trains Creed.
Okay.
So, they were very close.
Okay. Because that was another thing too, where it just like they kept like coming back to that over and over and over again. It was like, we don't have anything new to talk about in this movie, so here's something from Rocky 4.
Well, and to me, that's a little bit of the sad part, is because they say a few times, like, you got to make your own legend. He's trying to come out of Creed's shadow, and yet the film itself seems like it's firmly entrenched in Creed's shadow.
Yeah, and...
Like, all the best stuff was nostalgic stuff.
Yeah, and that ends up being a problem, too, where, like, there's no Creed 2 without Sylvester Stallone.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Right? There's no Creed 2. Like, Michael B. Jordan cannot take this franchise by himself at this point.
No.
I'd like to see a second movie with Sylvester Stallone behind the camera.
Yeah, but he'd have to be in the movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, he'd still have to be in the movie because Balboa's what carries everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but if they brought him back, he would have to die in the next movie.
Yeah. This movie didn't get off the ground until Stallone signed on to it. Because they tried to make this before with, just Creed's son, no Balboa, and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
The first fight scene was really weird. It was like the camera was in the center of the ring, and it, like the fighters would just walk towards it.
You kept pulling around.
Yeah, it was very strange and kind of off-putting.
What scene was that?
It was the first fight that he had, first legit fight
Oh,
with the other trainer's son.
With like the tattooed guy?
the Scorpio
Yeah.
kid or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
that was such a weird way to shoot that.
yeah, there was a lot of strange choices, and I don't know how much of it was that they couldn't make it look realistic, or the people they had involved weren't really trained to look right in it. Like, Southpaw felt way more authentic during the fighting scenes because you didn't have like a guy taking like 6 blows to the head in 10 seconds. You had lots and lots and lots of blocking. You know, lots of blocking, lots of weaving, and then once in a while there'd be like a light, you know, somebody would get through with something, and that would have a huge impact instead of having no impact like it does in this movie. Like, people get hit in the head in this movie and they just shake it right off. It's like, no, that's not how boxing
That
works.
takes me out of it. It's
Yeah,
like, whoa,
exactly.
that's weird. Okay.
I would point to any of the Ollie Frazier fights as a counter argument to that.
Whatever. I mean, it's... that's... Yeah, I just don't...
Well, they're getting slammed on the head enough. Yeah, that whole getting hit in the head for a good 12 seconds just constantly kind of thing, that's gonna do something to you no matter what kind of thing.
Right.
Especially at that rate that they're throwing punches.
Yeah.
So, granted, there are a lot of cases where, like what he was saying, it does happen, but
I'm just talking about, like, I mean, watching, like, Tyson and people like that fight. It's like, it doesn't work that way.
well, I was looking for that. I was like, you're doing all these blocking stuff, and I'm not seeing it block a lot or weave. You're just kind of sitting there taking it.
Well,
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan just stands there and gets hit in the head over and over and over. It's ridiculous.
Well, if you've ever seen any Rocky movie, that's exactly
That's
how it
the
happens.
that's the Rocky
Like,
formula.
You go back and watch any of them, the only person that blocks in any Rocky movie is Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
And he only does that in the first one.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I mean, yeah, if it's different rules of... If it's film rules of boxing, and I get it, I mean, it's more exciting to have it that way. It's more like watching video game boxing than real boxing. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna pick apart Rocky 8 or whatever this is so much, for its technical limitations. I just, it's not a series for me, and I think it did do a better job than Southpaw as far as being a better movie, a more put together movie. But Southpaw had completely different problems. So, anyway,
So are we going to talk about the montage?
Well, one. Oh, the montage. Okay.
The montage.
That was
That was strange.
still haven't really
It was strange
figured
because
it out.
they couldn't mimic the original ones that much because it's trying to pull out on its own, and yet they still kind of did.
well, they
Put it in a weird way.
set it up one time, like at the very beginning when they got to the new training place, and that kid went by on the bike, and
Inspired him with
he's
a wheelie.
like, "What's that all about?" And Stallone's like, "Oh, that's what the kids do around here. They
And that's what
do
I feel like
wheelies
they
and
were.
stuff."
I feel like they were trying to get to that. Like that's Philadelphia. That's where you're coming from, and there.
Yeah,
So that's why, that's his background kind of thing from coming there. But then he's from Hollywood, so now I'm kind of sitting here like, well, I mean, I understand why you're doing it. It's just it makes no sense to me right now as I'm watching this happen. I think
and then they just have that shot of him like outrunning everybody for a while uphill,
while they're doing wheelies too,
Yeah.
and I'm just. Ugh.
which is why I was thinking of that ridiculous Bad Girls video by MIA. It's like when they're driving in the cars that are like on their sides and
It was
Just 'cause.
spectacular. Like,
just fronting.
it really needed a song by Stan Bush or something. 'Cause
My favorite thing is at the end, he's yelling at some guy looking out a window, and you're just kind of like, well, I kind of want to know what he's saying now. Kind of thing. They're just sitting there yelling at each other. At the end of the montage, it seems like he's trying to call him out for something. But then you don't really know.
Turn this shit down. No, I don't want to.
I thought it was actually at the beginning. I thought it was her house to begin with. I thought that was her, and I thought he was going to pull out a boombox.
Oh,
And play Bad Girls by Eminem.
Exactly.
Him with
It didn't go that way though.
with his baller gang of dirt bikes and
Right.
ATVs. Oh yeah,
No, that would have to be Ba with Ba.
yeah. What
That's the ultimate dirt bike.
what would that be like? Sons of Mass Confusion, not Anarchy, clearly, but Sons of Mass Confusion. We'll go with that.
I think there was better ways of doing that montage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
They could have at least had an open coop of chickens running.
There were better ways of doing a lot of things in this movie. There really were. But they got it made, more power to them, and it was fun to see Stallone again.
Mhm.
So, for what it's worth.
He's looking older each and every time I see him, though.
Yeah.
technically he is older.
Well, they stopped dyeing his hair for a little while in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So he had the cancer hair for like a scene.
Which is probably his real hair.
Yeah.
They pulled out all those hair plugs.
Yeah.
Everything that makes him look late middle aged in Expendables.
Instead of 90.
Yeah,
Is he really 90?
No.
probably.
Oh, it's like wait.
give or take.
He lives fast and he dies young because bad girls do it well.
And we're done.
Well, that's great. If you like the movie these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.